Hello friends, welcome to KB Tutorials. So in this tutorial, we are going to learn how to develop an automation scripts in Uipath, Selenium, Webdriver IO and Katalon Studio. So in this tutorial, what we do is we have this website which is an open HRM site where we'll try to create automation scripts to validate the login scenario. So as you can see on the screen, we have user ID as well as password. So I have admin as user ID, admin123 as a password. So I'll just log in. Once I logged in, I'll I'll just verify it logged in successfully or not. Then I'll come out. I'll just close the browser. Okay. But the challenging part here is like, as I said, we are going to develop this in four different tools or the technologies, as you can say: UiPath, Selenium, Webdriver IO, and Katalon Studio at a time. So these are the steps that we are going to cover. Opening the browser, navigate into the URL, this URL, user ID and password, entering and clicking on a button and validating the login happened or not. Then once it is logged in, we'll go into close the logout. Okay. So now you can see on my screen there were four tools. Visual Studio for WebDriver IO, Eclipse for Selenium, UiPath Studio for UiPath, Katalon Studio for Katalon. So let me get started here. So let me take first as UiPath. So what I'll do is let me create a process. So here it is called as process in UiPath. So like login scenario. I am creating a process in UiPath. So let it load properly. Then come back to WebDriver IO. So still creating. Okay, fine. So come back to WebDriver IO. Here I am going to create a file. Here this file is called as spec. So let me create as login scenario.js. This is a login scenario.js. So in order to execute only this file, what we need to do is we need to configure in WebDriver IO configure file. So here you can see in specs. In specs, I am going to give my my spec file. So my spec file here is login scenario. Where is that? This is a login scenario. So login scenario is my spec file, login scenario.js. Okay. Then come back to Selenium. Here in my Selenium, I'll create one class on that is called as a testng class. So here same login scenario is my class name. So I have created here in Selenium. If you go to Katalon Studio, I know it could be little difficult in switching, but it's really interesting, guys. So here it is called as test cases. So let me create a test case. So this is my test case called login validation. It's already existing. So login, let me give it as scenario. As you can see, in everywhere I have created in WebDriver IO, Eclipse, in UiPath, everywhere. Now go to UiPath. So in order to open a browser in UiPath, what you need to do is you need to in activities pane, just take. Okay, before that let me create a sequence. So sequence got created. Then open the browser and pass the URL. So the first step we are going to do is opening the browser and navigate into the URL. This is my navigation, guys. So this I am going to choose in Chrome. Then this is how it will launch a Chrome browser and it will navigate to this particular URL. So as you can see here, opening a browser, navigating is done in UiPath now. Then let me go to the Selenium scripts here. Okay, just a minute guys. I just need, okay, this one thing I need to set the property. So login scenario, okay, here I'll use before test and before test annotation of testng. Before test, public void launch browser. So this should launch our browser. So I'll copy paste this particular line. Now you can see testng annotation, it is asking us to import. Now I am importing this annotation. Now Webdriver, right? So here let me create a Webdriver. Just a second guys. Actually raining here. Yeah, fine. So public static Webdriver driver. This Webdriver I am importing here from Selenium QA. Then using driver is equal to new Chrome driver to launch our Chrome browser. New Chrome driver. Now what we'll do is driver dot get. So our line is, our URL is this one. So I'll mention that URL here. This is in before test. So before the test start, this annotation, so before test will get triggered, then it will load our Chrome browser and it will navigate to this particular URL. So this is in Selenium guys. Next is in Webdriver. So this is my login scenario. Here it is called describe. Describe is nothing but a scenario here. Login validation. Then we'll give a function. It is nothing but a test. So login scenarios and the function here we have browser. So browser dot URL. I am going to pass this URL, right? So I have taken this particular URL now. It's good. Then to the Katalon Studio guys. So here in Katalon Studio I'll use manual mode. Now you can see here this spy web. So I'll take that spy web and you can pass this particular URL. So this is the URL. If you are going to launch, if you are going to start, it will start. So this will start in a Chrome browser and this particular web page get loaded. Okay, so our first stage, two stages: opening a browser, navigating to navigating to the URL is done in UiPath, Webdriver, Selenium and Katalon. So now it's time to identify our elements. So go to your Uipath here. Then you have user ID and password fields, right? So how do you enter user ID and password in Uipath? Using type into activity. So I'll use this type into in activities panel. Now you can see I got this type into. So I have this element type into, it should get identified. Now you can see it get identified and what value you want to enter. So the value I want to enter is user ID. This is admin. Then to type a password, this secured test here. Okay, indicate on the screen. Type secure. What is the value that you can send here? T field secure test. Yeah, this one. So I am going to pass admin 123. So it should admin 123. It's okay. Instead of this, what I'll do is I'll just type into only. Anyhow, this value will become as in passwords. So in the stars format, so I'll just use type into only. Indicate this particular element. I have indicated the password field now. And what is the value that you want to pass? Admin 123 is a value that I want to pass. Now in this scenario, I have did user ID and password entering. So entering user ID and password is done in Uipath. Now let's go to Webdriver. So here this is before class, before test, right? So here I'll use @test public void login. So this @test we need to import of testng. Then we need to identify our elements, these two elements. So what I'll do is I'll just take web element user ID. How can we identify user ID and password? Simply go to the inspect. This one input is having the ID here. Okay, user ID. So driver dot find element by xpath, not even by xpath. I have ID, right? So I'll just use ID by ID. I have entered user ID. In a similar way, we can enter the password web element password. Okay, I just identified, right? So how do I enter the data here? So simply use user ID dot send keys to enter the data. So my user ID is admin 123. Then we need to identify the password field. Password field is also same, guys. Here, if you go here and take this one, this is a password having the ID txt password. So I'll use that web element password is equal to driver dot find element by ID is equal to, I'm going to pass my password, then password dot send keys. So my password is admin. So user ID is admin, password is admin 123. So 123. Okay. So this is how we'll do in Selenium using send keys to send the data. Now go to Webdriver.io. Here what you can do is take user ID as a variable. Using this we have user ID and password, right? This is a text user ID. So I'll generate a customized XPath for this. Simply go here, input at ID is equal to, I'll give this ID. Now you can see I got this XPath. So how we can define objects, how you can define web element is using a dollar symbol here. So now you can see I have identified user ID. So it's time to send the data. So user id dot using set value, user id dot set value, we can send the data. So user id is nothing but admin, so I have given admin. Then where password field, how we can identify password field, I can identify using the XPath. So this is my XPath, guys. So I'll just come here, replace the username with the password. Now you can see we got the but only one value. So password is nothing but dollar of, this is my password field, this is my password field. So password dot set value of admin 123. Okay, this is my password. Now in Katalon Studio, as you can see here, I have already put it in my manual mode. So if I just click on this launch, it will ask for, now you can see it is loading the our application here. Here if you just mouse over it, this red symbol is nothing but it is identifying each and every element. So user id is alt tilde. Now you can see we got user id. If you just go here, now you can see we got user id and this one is password. So alt tilde, we got the password field. Let's go and see password field. Just go, let's see one more time this user id field. This is user id, this I can delete. This is my user id field, this is my password field, this is my user id. User id field is okay, let me try one more time, because yeah, so this is my user id, okay, and this is my password. So I'll just use user id. This password I'm going to rename it as password. Okay, this is my input field, this should be input, right? Yeah, fine. So here, whatever the objects you have identified, you can save them to the object repository. In object repository, you can already, whatever that is already there, you can define there. You can create a one more. So here I am creating a one more called login validations. I'm clicking on the OK. Now you can see this is my login validation. Then I'll click OK. So here I have identified the objects. Now it's time to send the data here. Okay, you can simply close this, go back here. So this is my login scenario, right? So go here and click on add. Simply type open browser. It will go and open in the browser. Then this is my URL, guys. So I am passing the URL here in Katalon Studio. This is a URL I have passed. Then how do I send a value to the user ID and password field? These fields, right? So add a step. Simply type S. Now you can see send keys. Send keys. What is the object? So object is my user ID. This is my user ID field. What value? This is a user ID. So admin is my value. Then how do I pass password? Password is nothing but send keys. Send keys here. This is my password. So password value is admin 123. Okay. Now, okay. So Uipath done. Webdriver Webdriverio done. Webdriverio using set value. Uipath type into. Then Selenium done using send keys. Katalon Studio done. Now it's time to click on the login. Okay. So I went to the Uipath here. I need to click on the login, right? So use click operation here. Just indicate it on the element. Okay. This is my element. So go here. Click. This is my click, guys. So this should log in my particular web page in UiPath. Then when it comes to Selenium, I have not identified it. So let me identify it first. This is my field of ID. I have input type ID I have. So I'll simply use that web element login button is equal to driver dot find element by xpath using my, okay, it's not xpath, right, it's id. So by dot id using my id, and I'm going to click on this button, login button dot click. So this should log in properly. Okay, now let's go to the WebDriver IO. So in WebDriver IO, I need to identify this particular element. So I have this login button ID. I'll just give it here. Now you can see we could able to identify properly. So go here and give where login button is equal to dollar symbol of, this is my login button, guys. So simply need to click on it. Login button click is my function. I'll simply click and save. Okay, next come to Katalon Studio. Here if you see here in our object repository, we have not identified. So first we need to identify. So for that I'm clicking on the same manual process again. Go here and let it load. I should have identified previously, but I forgot that. So because of that, this issue is. Then this is my scenario. Yes, this is my login button. So verify, highlight, yes, save it to the, save it here, click OK, then close this. Then I should click on it, right? So just simply select one more thing, use click object is login here. This is my input user ID password field, so I am clicking on this. Now I have did it, click on the login. I have did it in Uipath Selenium Webdriver and Katalon. It's time to execute my Selenium, sorry, my Uipath and see the results. Now if I run this file, I'm just doing it till fourth step, guys. Now you can see it started loading. Okay, it is not identified the user ID field, it seems. Type into, indicate it on the screen. So this is my type into. If you see here, okay, now let me run this. This is my instance, so let me close that and run this. Now you can see started running this. User ID, password, clicked on the login, done. Okay, so login has happened properly. Now that's it here, right? So just to verify, I'll simply use something called there anything called okay, test exist will be there, right? Get text exist. OCR test exist. Test exist. Now you can see this I have, so I can simply use this indicate inside the element. So 1 second, where is this one? So go here, which element you want to indicate. Let me take this one, marketplace. So once I logged in, text must be what? Marketplace. Just check that marketplace be small. Marketplace. Let me give something called result here. So go here and you can see result is boolean. So if that test exists, I'll come to know that login has happened properly. So just for our verification, I'll simply do this RES. Okay. Once I could able to do it, I can I can confidently say like I have did the login operation successfully in UiPath. Now let me run this particular file. Now you can see I started running this. User ID, password, login. Okay, there is some issue. Okay, this is an issue with the site, guys, nothing to do with me. So let me close this and again let me run this one more time. Now it started loading. User ID, password, login. Now you can see it started. Now I should get as true. As you can see this field, I am trying to check. So still it is loading. Now you can see as per this, we could able to say we have logged in successfully using UiPath. So I'm just waiting for this field marketplace. I need to see the selectors also. Now you can see it got false, maybe because of the selectors. So I need to see the selectors. Is an input field I got, but do you really think is an input field? So I just need to select, see that selectors, guys. ID input field. Okay, fine, not a big deal. So this is how we can check in UiPath. Something wrong with this, not a big deal. Okay, so I'm closing my UiPath. Now you have understood how to do it in UiPath. Now if I click on this is in Selenium. So let me run it as a testng test. Now you can see I started running this. It is loading the Chrome browser and it is loading the URL. Now enter user ID, password, clicked on the login. Now you can see login has happened properly. Okay, so just to verification purpose, what I can do is login sysout. I'll try to get that particular title here. Title get title. Okay, if the title contains anyway this one orange HRM, then I can say like it is loaded properly, or else I can just click on somewhere else. That is, even that also works. So just let me run this and show you the title. From the title I can say like I have did the login properly. Now you can see it started loading. We got into the user ID, password, clicked on the login, then came here, then it ran successfully. Now you can see it passed. Now you can see the title as orange HRM. So with this title I can say like it is loaded properly. So I can close this. So everywhere you go, guys, the concept remains the same. Then let me go to the Webdriverio here to run this npm run test. Now you can see I started running this spec and one spec file got identified. Now you can see it started loading the browser. Here also you can use the get title, even that will work. Same concept, user ID password, clicked on the login and it closed. Okay, just for our purpose I'll do few things. Console.log browser.get title based on the title you can do the validations. Okay, then for our verification purpose, just to see it is loaded properly or not, I'm going to wait for 8 seconds here. Okay, no need of 8, give somewhere like 6 seconds. Save this npm run test. Now you can see I started running the spec and it loaded the browser. Browser will load the URL. User ID password, click on the login. User ID password. Now you can see it is loaded properly. After, now you can see this is the title guys, RNZ7, that's the title. Passed successfully, close the instance. So this is how we can do the login in Webdriver.io. Now comes to Katalon Studio. Okay, then this one I'm going to run it in this test. So it should load the Chrome browser. Same thing, but the concept going to be same in everywhere. It's just how you do it in different ways. Now you can see started running. User ID password, clicked on the login. Now you can see we got this. Okay, here also you can use a get title to identify. Okay, so this is how we can write a test automation scripts in different languages guys. So it's very simple. If you start using it, it won't take much time, and all I want to say is like concept remains same everywhere you go. It's just different tools, different way of implementation. That's it. So I hope it's informative guys. This is the first time I'm trying out this kind. Let me know how did you felt in comment section, and also please do subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.